Hi, hi, Bird here, Soul to Soul Connector, and this will be an impromptu soul talk with Linda Smith. Welcome, Linda.
Hi, Bevan. How are you?
Awesome. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. If I was any better, I'd have to be twins.
Mhm, mhm. And you're getting younger too. That's a
I
great thing.
am.
So Linda got actually the thing is she almost died. Right. It was a big shock to her that she had. Well, I mean, you can tell the story. Basically, she's going through a journey, a healing journey, and it's very inspiring. And so, if you have diabetes, then you might want to watch this.
Yes, you do want to. I have many people say that, just me sharing my story with them, they're being inspired to take control of their diabetes and realize that diabetes doesn't control them, they control the diabetes. And
And the other, I want to make sure people hear like what you just told me before was that when you talk to your doctor or someone, that they said no one had ever said that it was a blessing.
right, yes, that's the basis of this conversation is uh, when I go to my where I work out and go to my doctor, my trainer told me that in all her years of doing this and working with diabetics, she has never ever had anyone say that their diagnosis of diabetes was a blessing. And I was the only one, and it totally inspired her. She is so on my team because she wants to help me. It's like How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you read that book, she's on my team. She sees the benefit of looking at it as a blessing and not a curse.
Is she one
And
of the people that is going to be co-authoring the book with you?
yes,
Okay.
yes, she is. Yep,
Yeah.
Michelle. And
Okay. Well,
so
please tell us the story.
the story of being diagnosed.
Yeah, like of how you almost died, like from
Okay,
that
yeah,
moment.
oh, poor brother. Well, it's funny how Source has your back because all along I've been saying that, trying to change my reality. I desire this, I desire that. And so I was desiring to go to Florida and my bags were already packed. I was leaving on, let's see, I was leaving on Sunday, on a Sunday at the end of April, and I got an opportunity to go to see Phantom of the Opera in New York on Saturday. So of course, who would turn that down? Free tickets and a bus ride and the whole thing. So I'm like, sure, I'll do it. So I got on the bus and I wasn't really feeling all perfectly. I had not I thought I had like a urinary tract infection, and I wasn't feeling all up to par. And of course then I was going to be tired because of being up late and riding the bus and then going to Florida, driving to Florida. But I could do it. I'll do it. So here I am in New York City. We're walking around, but I noticed like halfway down there, we got off to have coffee and my legs didn't want to work right. And I thought, well, it's just my core muscles, so I pulled in my core muscles and, walked it out. And because, I have like, I'm 66 years old. So, it's thinking, you just got to pull it together. So we get down to New York, we walk around, we go have lunch. I had a milkshake because she bought lunch. I had a peanut butter milkshake. And I went to go, they have it in one of the parks down there, the only place where they have uh, public restrooms outside. And I went and used the restroom. And when I went to put myself back together, I reached down to pull my shirt down and my hand wouldn't work. My hand was like kind of, it kind of had a seizure, it just, I couldn't get my fingers to work and my wrist went down and I was like, what the heck? That made me a little bit concerned.
It was like it was all numb and you couldn't move it,
No,
and it's
it,
just
it,
disconnected.
no, when I tried to use it, it just, I could, I don't know if it was just like, I couldn't grab anything.
Okay.
I couldn't grab the edge of my shirt and pull it down. My arm just wouldn't go. It was like trying to do it, spazzing. But I thought, because I had a pain in my neck, and I thought I had a pinched nerve. That's what I thought. Pinched nerve. That's what it felt like, because I had pain in my neck. So anyway, I told my girlfriend, I said, oh, the weirdest thing just happened in my arm. So long story short, as we had to wait to go, and it was raining, and we walked around New York City for a little bit waiting for the doors to open. We went inside, but every 10 minutes or so, my arm would do something really weird. Like while we were having lunch, I had to like grab a hold of my arm and hold my hand down in my lap because I thought it was a pinched nerve, you know. But anyway, so we get in the opera house and we get our seats, and the first act started, and right in the middle, probably one of the most notable times in the whole opera, I had a seizure right there in the opera. And you know, I knew what was
And
happening.
then did somebody say, stop being so dramatic?
So I was telling them, I'm like, this is no show. I'll show you a show. I don't know. My most embarrassing moment that I can hardly remember. But anyways, people came to my aid, God bless them, and for the rest of their lives. And they weren't going to let the ambulance guys come in. They said, you got to wait. And the ambulance driver had a few choice words to say to them. Like, we didn't get a call. Somebody's having a medical crisis. We're not waiting. So they came in, took me out. I had another seizure in the ambulance. I had 2 more in the emergency room that I don't remember. But I was seizing pretty bad, and my sugar was 865. And normal is 100, right around 100. And what was happening is that my A1C was 16.3, and it's supposed to be between 5 and 6. So I was running, I did the math, I'm just guessing by the math that I was running between 5 and 600, or maybe 4 to 600 on a regular basis, because the urinary tract infection that I thought that I had was actually candida, because I had so much sugar and my body was trying to get rid of the sugar. And so, you know, I was itching like you played for the New York Yankees, you know. And, but I didn't put the whole puzzle together, you know. So I ended up in critical condition for a little over 6 hours. And, you know, people were praying for me. And the girl that I went to New York with, it was our very first outing as friends. She, poor thing. I mean, she's my earth angel, I call her now. She's, you know, I can't do enough for her. But anyway, so I woke up in the emergency room, and the doctor just had a shocked look on his face. And my girlfriend looked happy and shocked at the same time. But I came out of it at 6 hours. I have pictures of myself. I might put them in my book. That now my skin is pink, my eyes are clear, and I'm like, I want to go home. Like, I didn't want to stay there. And they're like, absolutely not. You don't come in here seizing like that. We got to find out what the problem is. Well, the problem is it was my sugar, all told, because they did brain things and MRIs and CAT scans. And my gosh, I was like on a first name basis with a bunch of doctors. But anyway, so I was there for almost 5 days. And when I came to in the emergency room, the doctor was almost like, he was in such shock. He's like pointing at me. He goes, you have diabetes. I'm like, what? You talking to me? Like, I just couldn't get my brain around it. Like, what? And you had no idea? I said, no. And this is the thing. Like everybody says, even now, they said, you had no clue? Well, I guess if I had put the pieces together, it was a little bit of this, and look, and it was right at the end. You know, because I already had made some diabetic or some dietary changes. So, you know, and so the doctor told me, he said, you know, about day 4, and when they found out I got away with no complications, none. no organ damage, no eye damage, no brain damage, nothing. And he said, that number, that percentage is so low. He's never seen anybody come in my condition in all his years, in my condition, seizing like I was with my numbers, that walked away unscathed. And so that's why I'm here today, to tell you that that was my wake-up call. That was my wake-up call. And I knew that I had to do something immediately to take advantage of that opportunity to live my life, because I had been trying to make changes, you know, to help people, to inspire people. And I have so many talents that sometimes that's my greatest downfall. I have so many things that I can't just choose one. Well, I think that one chose me. So I started a journey to be not a diabetic. And the doctor's telling me, my doctor that I got when I, got home and everything, she says diabetes is a progressive disease, and it is it is, what's the word? I can't think of it right now. But anyway,
debilitating.
Debilitating. Yeah, it's a progressive disease, and there's no known cure. And I told her that day, I said, well, as you get to know me, you're going to find out I think different than most people. And I said, that's your problem right there. Is you say there's no known cure. There is a cure. You just don't know what it is. And it's my job to do my part to find the cure, to do the best that I can to show other people and you that it can be reversed, or at least to a point where, I don't know where this journey is going to bring me out on the other end, but my idea is I won't have to live the life of a diabetic anymore. That's my final goal,
It's epic. It is inspiring, and you've got my support, Linda.
Thank you. So
you're on a great journey.
As I started, just to give them sort of an idea, and I was on insulin when I left the hospital, injected in my belly every day. In 7 weeks, I was able to be off it because I changed my diet. I changed everything. And I don't want to say it was hard. It was difficult because I had to change my beliefs. And, my body was, when your body wants sugar, that is a hard one. That's like they say that sugar is as addicting as heroin, in a different result, but still the same kind of receptors in your brain that, you want sugar. It's screaming your name louder. You can't even hear anything. You're going to have a cookie come hell or high water, And to overcome
and also candida too. I think when you have candida, it wants the sugar too, because it wants to survive as well.
Yep. So everything was screaming at me. And that's when I learned, with no uncertain terms, that I was the boss of myself. And I actually, as crazy as it sounds, I talk to my cells every single day. I tell them what I demand from them, because the power that made the body heals the body. And so, all that dis-ease is lack of ease, lack of the way it's supposed to be. So let's get back on track. Like I sound like a bus driver. I go like, okay, so pay attention. This is your master speaking.
Yeah.
And I
it's
tell
the captain.
It's the captain speaking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I tell them that they're going to quit being insulin resistant. They're going to receive the insulin freely and openly. They're going to process it the way that they know how, and they're going to get better every day because actually, Bevan, you've seen me. I think I look younger than when you first met me. I think so.
I don't have a picture up for a before, right? So I'm not sure, but I'd say yes.
Well, one of these days I'll show you pictures of before and after. You'll be amazed. Like people are seeing me, they're like, you don't look like the same person. So they see it, the sparkle in my eye, and like my son says, I can see it. Like, my skin looks better, everything. Even though, you still are going to have aging. You're not going to get out of this life alive, It's like, but Yeah, uh, so 7 weeks I kicked insulin to the curb, and at 20 weeks my A1C is down from 16.3 to 5.5, and the normal
Right.
is between 5 and 6. So I'm actually considered
Yes.
by A1C to be pre-diabetic. And that's still with a little medication. So, I'm trying to be, I have a plan every day. I get up and I plan, you have to kind of plan I have to eat at the right time. Like just before I come on with you, I had to eat something because I couldn't wait till now to eat because,
Yeah, and I was
no
going to
sugar.
eat. I was going to eat breakfast before the call, and then I realized I was an hour off. There was a time change, and so I
Oh,
just had to get back. And I'm like, it's okay because Linda's going to teach today, so I'll
right,
order breakfast.
right, fine. Yep. So, so I'm on the journey right now. I'm really happy to share with everybody. I would love if they have any questions, that I can inspire them even further.
Yeah,
Like I
please leave
said,
a comment if you have a question.
yes, like I know that I'm going to come out on the higher side. I know that, other people are going to be inspired. And if it just helps one person, it's worth everything. And so when I want that sugar, when I want that, I just know that, what about the other people? Like, it's not about me as much as the collective, everybody, like I'm writing a book right now and it's going to be something that the people that I've already shared the idea and some of the um, content with, they're like, this is a book that every diabetic should read because most diabetics are known, and comes from my doctor's office, they're just known to be grumpy, to be negative, to look at it as a curse, something that they, and there's people that actually allow their limbs to be chopped off because they don't get a grip. They just eat whatever they want and take more metformin or more insulin, and their body just breaks down. And, it might work for a little while, but it's not going to work long term. You're shortening your life with your grandkids, with your family, with your friends, with all the things that you could do for the world, so that's
Well,
what
we're rooting for you, Linda, and what you're doing is very courageous and honorable.
I
And so that's
appreciate
great,
you.
right? You're not just living for yourself. Like once you got onto this journey and once you realized that it would impact a lot of other people, then you got to be your best, not just for you, also for the
Right.
world too, right?
Right. Because I can't tell them something that I'm not living, because then it's
Yeah.
not real. It's not sincere. It's just something. This is something that I really, truly, I just want to hug everybody that is in the same situation and let them know that they can do it. They got to be the boss. That's the thing. That's the hardest part, to get
Awesome.
control of yourself.
Awesome.
Discipline, and it probably is anything like what you teach people. Like, you have to be consistent, persistent.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Success is what success is. So, like I said, I didn't. I could have chose any one of my gifts of intuitive healing, but I'm employing all of them all together because I believe that diabetes chose me. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Awesome. Well, it's a great story. It's
Yeah.
inspiring. Thanks, Linda. And I look forward to seeing what's next and talking with you
Okay.
soon too.
All right. Thank you so much for doing this, Bevan.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And please, everyone watching this, please share this video. If you know someone who's diabetic, share this video with them and they'll
Yes,
appreciate it.
please. They
Okay.
will. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Have
Thank
a
you.
great day, everyone.
You too. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.